What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus package update, daily news, everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., money, investing, the stock market, everything you need to know about on a daily basis. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. I will keep you up to date with everything going on here in our country. Remember that new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. Okay, first up, tensions between the US and China are growing as the Biden administration is expected to announce a diplomatic boycott of the Winter Olympics this week the Olympics are going to start in February. And this might even start the tensions between China and US to be even more. Check this out.
We've been expecting this to some degree over the course of the last week or two. Lawmakers in both parties have been calling for it, not recently, for months. If you're Mitt Romney or Speaker Nancy Pelosi, what do you make about the message that's being sent with a potential diplomatic boycott of the Beijing Olympics?
Well, first of all, this is a step in the right direction, and it's a powerful message because people, if you go back 2 months, people would not have thought that this would have occurred. But also, this is a dynamic situation. And especially when you got the plight of Peng Shuai, anything can happen. So I don't think that we can say for 100% sure that the Olympics are going to be held on February 4th. Probably they will be, but global opinion has changed very fast in the space of about 2 weeks.
What do you make of the calculation from the administration? A couple weeks ago, a long-awaited virtual summit between President Xi and Biden. They didn't solve all the world's problems and there weren't any major breakthroughs, but it was at least something that was, I think, viewed on the U.S. side as taking down the temperature a little bit. And then to follow with this, which the Chinese clearly are going to react to, what's the strategy here?
Well, I'm sure the Biden administration didn't want to do this. No government really wants to impose costs on China. But the issue, though, is that we're not driving events right now. It's Beijing. And it's not just with regard to the United States. They're also doing this to other countries as well. So Xi Jinping is pressing them to make decisions that they otherwise don't want to make. So I'm sure that President Biden didn't want to do this, but he's not been left very much choice, especially with Peng Shuai and some of the other things that have occurred recently.
And I would work under the assumption, I know administration officials were when they were considering this or talking about this, that there will be a diplomatic reprisal of some sort from China. Will that be linear? What would that look like, do you think, based on what you've seen over the years?
Well, over the years, when China has threatened reprisals, they've generally been very mild or they've not been imposed at all. Now, this time is probably going to be different. Xi Jinping realizes that the Olympics are at stake. Also, China's pride is at stake. So you're going to see something. And I don't know what it will be, but you got to remember that China needs the United States much more than the other way around. So any sort of reprisal is going to hurt China probably far more than it's going to hurt us.
Now, this diplomatic boycott that the Biden administration is expected to announce this week that probably will raise tensions between the U.S. and China means that U.S. government officials will boycott it, but not U.S. athletes. As of right now, it looks like that U.S. athletes will participate in the Olympics starting in February, as of right now, unless things get worse. Also, in related news, the World Tennis Association has suspended all tournaments in China and literally pulled out of China and Hong Kong and said that they will forego losing hundreds of millions of dollars because a Chinese tennis star has gone missing after criticizing a Chinese government official. She went missing and has not been heard of. And, well, the World Tennis Association has literally said that they are going to pull out of China unless they find her and their demands are met to make sure that she's safe. And, well, that has not happened. So, yeah, there's growing concerns over all of this. So we'll have to see what's going to happen with the Olympics as well. President Biden said in the last few days that as part of the new ongoing virus procedures, he wants to make at-home virus testing free. But there's hurdles that they have to cross to have that done now that they're trying to implement this. You can see here President Biden announced a plan with much fanfare on Thursday for free at home COVID tests as part of his effort to tame the pandemic this winter. But the catch is that people will still have to pay the cost up front for the test, which can be over $20 for a pack of two at a local CVS, and then submit receipts to their local health insurance provider to get reimbursed. That process has raised concerns among experts that the upfront cost and added hassle of reimbursement will still cause barriers to testing, a contrast to European countries where the tests are just straight up free, probably paid for by the government in the front half, paid for by the government first, or just a couple of dollars up front. It would be a lot easier if the government paid for the test first, basically bought for by the government for the test, and then distributed to places like CVS or Walmart or Walgreens, similar to how the vaccines are. You don't have to go and pay for the vaccine, then get reimbursed by your health insurer. Can you imagine if that was the case, how much more difficult and how much more hesitancy there would be? So I think they should try to do that with the tests where you can just walk in, get a test if you need it. Um, as long as you don't want to have, they may have to have a limit on it. You don't want to have someone walking in there and taking 50 of them or 20 of them or something like that. Um, I don't know, maybe you have to show an ID or something along the lines of that or something, or have a, I don't know, something like that. But if you have to pay $20 to get two of them, I mean, what if somebody doesn't have 20 bucks? See the problem there? What if they don't have insurance? See the problem there? So, yeah, they're trying to figure out what to do there, but it is good that President Biden and well, the government wants to now pay for these tests as opposed to not paying for them, but they're going to have to try to figure out how to do this going forward. So it is a step in the right direction. Have the government pay for them as opposed to you and I have to pay for them, similar to the vaccines. Imagine if everybody had to pay for the vaccines. Uh, can you imagine if that's that's how it was? We wouldn't have nearly as many people vaccinated. So same thing with the tests. So we're trying to figure that out, or they're trying to figure that out. So I'll keep you updated. All right, some more information on Senator Joe Manchin with the stimulus package, the Build Back Better package. Dun dun dun. Yeah, we're getting more tidbits on how he feels about the stimulus package. They're working on the stimulus package. It's going to be a very big week here as they're going through committees and they're trying to do a lot of big work here with the stimulus package. So basically, we're to the point here where if they get the go ahead by Joe Manchin, they could be voting on it here this week at any given point. Remember, they want to vote on it before Christmas, which honestly, if they get Joe Manchin's go ahead and Kirsten Sinema's go ahead, they could be voting on the stimulus package this week. They also have to try to vote on the debt limit this week as well. Remember, the debt limit is not completed. They passed the government funding bill to prevent a government shutdown, not the debt limit. They still have to do that, preferably this week before December 15th, which is the earliest estimated date where the government could shut down. Here's some kind of new information here about Senator Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin says he's not committing to the legislation, suggesting more work needs to be done to iron out the finer details. Quote, I wouldn't have any idea how I'm going to vote until I walk in. Senator Manchin told CNN's Manu Raju departing the Capitol. This would risk an abrupt halt of the monthly child tax credit payments that tens of millions of families are relying on to cover expenses like rent, groceries, childcare, and school supplies. The Internal Revenue Service will distribute the final monthly payment on December 15th, and families will receive the other half at tax time, your 2021 taxes. Quote, no question that it would be a blow to lower income and middle class households, says Andy Boardman, a research assistant at the Urban Institute. Folks are depending on this money and it's helping them. It has become a pretty significant piece of family household budgets. The House bill renews the bulked up child tax credit payments for another year. It provides $300 per month per child ages 5 and under, or $3,600 annually. And for children ages 6 through 17, families get $250 per month, or $3,000 annually. And it would lock in the ability for the vast majority of Americans to get the government cash every month, regardless of whether they file taxes or not. Meaning there's no work requirement and no income requirement. When asked by Insider, Manchin didn't commit to approving the child tax credit as it was laid out in the House bill, only calling it a work in progress that raised the prospect of changes to the measure. Remember that Joe Manchin just a few weeks ago suggested or even demanded that there be work requirements for families. So, married filing jointly would be both the mother and the father would both have to work to receive the child tax credit payments, and an income requirement or an income requirement and an income threshold of $60,000, no higher. So, a mother and a father working would be only allowed to make a maximum of $60,000. So that would be $29,999, both of them total. So if you're a single filer, you'd get 60,000, but if you're two of them, $60,000 combined for the two. So $30,000 each would be the maximum. So Joe Manchin could demand both of those to get his vote. Keep that in mind. And the last monthly payment right now is set to be December 15th on these monthly checks going out to 65 million children. They want to extend that for one more year, but they have to pass the package and get his vote and all the other Democrats' votes. Quote, I think it's extraordinarily important to keep this program on track, said Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon, told reporters on Thursday about the possibility of a sudden lapse in checks to families. Wyden added it was the overwhelming view of Senate Democrats that it is priority business to pass the Build Back Better Act this year. Manchin may not be the only obstacle standing between the Democrats and their Christmas deadline. Senator Kirsten Sinema of Arizona isn't on board with the package yet either. She told CNN in an interview which aired on Thursday, we played that on the show here, that she was negotiating in, quote, good faith with other Democrats, but not in public. Dun, dun, dun. It's possible the IRS can move swiftly to prevent a lapse in payments by mid-January. The third wave of $1,400 direct payments started landing in bank accounts within days of Biden approving the stimulus law earlier this year. Of course, we also have multiple different advocacy groups and millions of people pushing President Biden and senators to include a stimulus check in there for adults as well. A fourth stimulus check for low and middle income Americans would also help with this pandemic and the economic crisis. And with this new Omicron variant coming in, the economy could really be suffering. It's also in 17 different states right now. And I mean, who knows where we're going to be? It's literally spread from one state to 17 states in less than a week. who knows what's going to happen here going forward. So, I mean, we literally have the state of New York that not only has multiple different cases of the Omicron variant, but they have declared a state of emergency because of the Omicron variant. So to say that it's not going to affect us, well, it literally is. I mean, at least in this case, they've already declared a state of emergency. So, I mean, you got to think that economically this is going to affect us. The question is, how much is it going to affect us? Of course, we also have the travel bans that the White House has implemented here from South Africa for non US citizens. And who knows what else is going to happen here in the future. The UK has done this, multiple different other countries have done this as well. And I mean, who knows what is going to happen here going forward, not only with the virus variant, but also economically with travel bans, mask mandates, possible lockdowns. We do have multiple different countries that are locking down across the world, especially in Europe, Germany, Austria. Australia had a 242-day lockdown, and even fines now going in across the different parts of the world as well. And it also kind of makes you wonder what's going to happen here going forward. And we have this massive stimulus package here, the Build Back Better Act, to help our economy and our people, our Americans, and seniors and children and lower and middle class people. Pretty much everybody here, lowering the cost of prescription drug pricing, lowering the cost of childcare, all sorts of different things here. And now is really the best time to do it. And hopefully add more in there as well. They're going to be changing a lot of things here in the Senate, and I will keep you up to date here this week here. Remember that new videos come out here on our channel every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So make sure to subscribe down below to, if you haven't yet, it's completely free to do so, so you don't miss out on new videos. If you haven't yet, click the bell icon to get reminder notifications when we go live with new videos so you don't miss out on any new videos. I will keep you up to date here. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And this video is how there's a push to, by a lot of people, millions of people, to receive $1,000 to $2,000 stimulus checks in the next stimulus package. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.